Carolina Panthers and Greg Olsen have decided to mutually part ways, but Greg Olsen's made it known he would like to stay in the league and possibly continue his football career here. So we're going to go down to some potential landing spots here for Greg Olsen. That first potential landing spot that just seems ever so likely for Greg Olsen being New England, a team that knows well and far beyond how to use the tight end position in this league. And you're really looking at a team that said, oh, we could really use some weapons for Brady last season. None could be better utilized than adding Greg Olsen up the middle for this New England Patriots offense. Regardless of whether it's Brady or not back there, I think the Patriots offer the star one of the best landing spots if he is looking to make a playoff team. Then you have the Houston Texans. Texans tight ends Akins and Fells combined for over 700 receiving yards at the tight end position last season, which isn't bad, but with a QB like Deshaun Watson back there, it could certainly use some improvement. Not to mention, when you look at this Texans team with Will Fuller and without him, they are a completely different offense. His ability to go out there and take the tops off of defenses, but how much can the Texans ever rely on this guy staying healthy for an entire season? It's a tough catch for the Texans. Even with him or without him, you add Olsen up the middle, takes that pressure off of DeAndre over there on the sidelines, and all of a sudden you're putting teams into fits when Will Fuller is healthy with three very good players out there that you have to be able to cover on the offensive side of the ball with a very good quarterback throwing to him. The Buffalo Bills. The Bills have one of the best defenses in the league. What seems like year in and year out these days, the problem always seems to come down to the offense. Whether the blame should be blamed on Allen or not is up for a completely different discussion. One thing we do know with the Bills is they are a very run-heavy team, and yes, they do have Knox, and yes, they do have some open this guy in the future, but having a run-heavy team means there's going to be a lot of two tight end sets out there for the Bills, and a lot of opportunities for both of these guys to catch some passes back there. The New York Jets. Now, albeit the Jets, as we mentioned, you think you're longer in your career, you want to be on a winning team as Olsen, but there's always the possibility you see players want to go play on a team closer back home. The New York Jets fit that bill here. A team that, we can go down here, offensive struggles year in and year out, would be more than welcoming to have a great tight end like Greg Olsen on his team to complement Le'Veon Bell, to complement these receivers on this team right now. Greg Olsen be a good fit, but would he want to go and play with the Jets? That's the big question. And finally, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, look, it's a very tricky situation on where you want to go with these Steelers. One thing we know is they have a very good defense, and if that offense can get going again, they're once again gonna be a Super Bowl contender pending Big Ben stays healthy, which, hey, I think we're learning real quick how important Big Ben is to that offense, I guess, hey? But the big question is, though, you look at, it feels like, granted, they lost Antonio Brown. How much of an impact did that have? You wanted to think Juju could take over the reins, which maybe he can. Maybe he can, and the quarterbacking situation kind of held him back there. But as of right now, this Steelers offense doesn't really have that identity, a go-to type of guy in the passing game. And yes, they do have McDonald back there. Again, had a lackluster season this year, along with the rest of that offense. And you go back to the question, how much of McDonald playing well the year before benefited from because they did have Juju, because they did have Antonio Brown to worry about. They didn't even care about the tight end in the middle of the field at that time. So how much did that have an impact? And if you're the Steelers, I think this feels like a window of opportunities closing. Sure, you can get another quarterback and get better, but they learned real quick last year what happens when they're without Big Ben. Who knows how long this guy's going to stay in the league, and who knows how healthy he can stay. The defense is ready to win right now. If you're the Steelers, it's one of those sign him now, ask questions later type of situations, because I don't think you're going to lock this guy down for long term. Maybe 1, maybe 2 years. You take that chance and see how it goes. You throw on another weapon to this Pittsburgh offense, and you once again make them a dynamic offense. And I think it's an appealing place for Greg Olsen, because we brought it up. It's a place where he can go and win. It's a place where he's going to get the ball, and it's a place where I think he can flourish. Those are 5 teams we think Greg Olsen could potentially go to.